Good evening everybody, happy Wednesday and nice to have you with me this evening. If you haven't met me before, my name's Eliza, I'm a founder of Yoga Me Happy, and hopefully we will be making you happy this evening with our dynamic flow session. I put a little message, a little note to everybody that you won't need any props this evening, hopefully. But if you do usually have a block beside you, obviously grab one and make sure that you have it near you. Maybe a little glass of water because it's a little bit warm this evening, it certainly is in my house anyway, and a nice big smile, and that's all you need. So we will get down onto the mat and we're going to start off in child's pose this evening. So bring your knees around about hip width apart and your toes together, your heels open, so that we're going to nestle the bottom in between the heels. So the toes are together, heels are open, nestling bottom in, and then gently wriggling the belly all the way down. I like to make sure that your tailbone is nice and tucked down towards the toe. So if you can, just a gentle push through the elbows, and then either bringing the forehead down onto the floor or onto the hands, or maybe onto a blanket, something to make sure that your forehead is rested. Take a nice big breath in and a really big sigh out through the mouth, and then close the mouth but keep the teeth parted so that we have a nice relaxed soft jaw. Close the eyes down. Taking your moment in child's pose to shed off any tensions of the week, of the day. Acknowledge your space, the time that you're creating for yourself on the mat this evening. And take a moment to honour your body. Take a big breath into the back of the heart. And again, another big sigh out to release and relax. Allowing the body to rest for a moment. And as we take this moment to rest, notice your physical self. Notice any tightness around your back body, around your shoulders, around your low back. I do mention working from home quite a bit. I'm sure loads of you have been suffering from not having the right equipment to work at home, but also people who are carrying children a lot more, or sitting incorrectly at home, just finding a little bit of tension around your low back perhaps, or around your shoulders. So take time to let those spaces soften as you breathe here. And also notice what mood you're in this evening, how you're feeling as you come to the mat. Are you feeling good? Are you feeling anxious? Are you feeling a little tired, or a little, a little bit cooped up, I suppose? And just notice how that perhaps has affected your body. Is that causing any tightness around your shoulders, do you think? Whether it's manifesting itself in your body. Again, just being aware of any additional tightness today. Knowing that whatever you're feeling, however you come to the mat, all is okay. All is exactly how it should be. Come to hold your heart with kindness tonight. And again, with that said, a nice big breath in the back of the heart. And a big grounding sigh. Again, closing the mouth and parting the teeth as we make our promise to ourselves to practice with openness and honesty this evening. Being kind to the body, being kind to yourself. We're going to take those arms and reach them forward. Head is still low. Start to creep the fingertips forward. And then lifting up the palms. So you're pushing down through all 10 fingertips, Spider-Man hands. Nice big breath in. And as you exhale, push through those fingertips and draw the tailbone down. And see how that feels for your back body to open up. A few more of those. Really big breath in. Really big sigh out, pushing through the hands. Softening through the back. Again, reaching forward through both sides, drawing back through both sides, and opening that space in the middle with deep, even breaths. I'm going to take a gentle baby thread the needle tonight. So staying with your hips towards your heels, just place your right arm underneath the left and bring the right side of the head onto the floor. Just releasing the back of the shoulder for a moment, making sure the neck is nice and soft. Again, big breath in, big sigh out. And then reaching that right arm back into place, left arm underneath, left ear onto the floor. Again, just allow the shoulder to settle and soften, the neck to relax. Big breath in, big sigh out. And then bring that left arm back. So wriggle your fingertips again, planting them into the floor. Spread the fingertips as wide as you can. Feel the whole of the mat underneath your hands as we take a nice big breath in and reach up onto all fours. As you exhale, tuck your toes and send the hips up into our first downward dog. So keeping knees nice and bent, just shifting the weight from left to right, super, super slow, but again, keeping both knees bent. We're not straightening the legs as yet, just keeping the arms long, lifting through the shoulders, again, pushing through the heels of the hands, making sure the thumbs are making full contact with the floor. Nice big breaths in and out. And then from here, we're going to take the knees and cross them over the opposite knee. So as you bend your left knee, you're crossing it underneath your right. And then see if you can push your right heel a little bit closer towards the floor. So the left toes are still in contact with the floor. You're just opening up through the outer edge of the hips. And then bringing that left heel a little bit closer to the floor, re-bending your right leg and crossing it over that left knee. Again, still keeping shoulders long, so just the knee is crossing, the toes are still on the floor. And then coming back into the centre, as you inhale, lift up high onto both sets of toes. As you exhale, push down through the heels. Again, just a little test on the back of the calf muscles, the knees, just seeing how that feels for a moment. Big breath in. Big sigh out, drop the chest. And then as you inhale, move the chest forward into a high plank, shoulders over the wrists. Not going to stay here long, squeeze elbows, exhale breath to push yourself back, downward dog. Inhale breath, 2 more of those, coming forward into high plank, shoulders over wrists, lift that space in between the shoulder blades, exhale, squeeze elbows, and send the body back and up. Inhale again, last one. Shoulders over the wrists, nice big space in between the shoulder blades. Exhale, squeeze elbows and come all the way up. And then from here, you're going to paddle those feet up towards the top of the mat. Nice and slow, nice and steady. Again, just place the whole of the foot down, seeing how that feels for the back of the legs until you reach the top of the mat, heels underneath your hips. Wriggle the toes, make sure the feet are grounded through all 4 points of each foot. And then fingertips on the shins, inhale up halfway. Lift the chest, shoulders back, nice and open across the collarbones. Hug the belly, draw the tailbone back, big breath in. Exhale, bend the knees and fold. So let the shoulders fall away. Allow the neck to be long. Maybe gently shake the head from left to right now. And then up and down, yes. Again, really slow, really steady. And then from here, we're going to roll ourselves up. Bend the knees today, so keep the bottom a little bit lower, rolling yourself up, curling through the back. Again, being kind to your back, noticing your neck, your shoulders. Reset, shoulder roll up, back and down. As you inhale, sweep your arms out and up, nice big lift. Again, extending through the top of the torso. As you exhale, start to descend all the way forward and down, hinging through the hips. Fingertips on shins, inhale up halfway, again lifting through the chest, hugging belly. Exhale, bend and fold. Plant your hands beside your feet. Inhale, take your right toes back. So coming into your runner's lunge, drop the hips, lift the chest, shoulders open. pull the collarbones out to the side, so we're brightening the chest forward. Keeping the leg nice and long, pushing into the base of that right heel. Staying up onto right fingertips. As you inhale, squeeze the thighs, lift up through left arm, both shoulders come back. As you exhale, fingertips only, come down onto the floor. Squeezing in, come up through the right arm. Again, reaching back through the shoulders. Exhale, fingertips only, come down. Inhale up left arm. Again, shoulders come back nice and open. Exhale, fingertips down. Last time, inhale, right arm. Exhale, this time plant both hands in. Inhale, left foot back, plank pose. Exhale, drop knees, untuck toes. Squeeze the elbows and send the whole of the body down onto the floor. So nice and long and open through the chest. Inhale up into a low cobra, shoulders come back. Just take a moment here, take a breath. Again, so see how that feels for your low back. Start to pull your shoulders back even tighter. Squeeze your elbows. Big breath in, keep the ribcage on the floor. Exhale, lower down. Tuck toes. Send the body all the way back towards the heels, nice and long through the arms. Big breath in. And as you exhale, push through the heels of the hands, lifting up into our downward dog. Again, perhaps a little sway through the feet. Nice and long and open through the back of the legs. Next inhale, lift up high onto toes. Exhale, down through the heels. A bend of the knees, gazing between the hands. This time, jump or step. If you're jumping, make it floaty. Allow the head to fall. As you inhale, lift up halfway. This time, if you want to, fingertips on the floor, monkey pose, or still fingertips on the shins. Be conscious of your body and how that feels. Exhale, bend the knees and fold. Again, nice and long through the back of the neck. Big breath in. Big sigh out. Again, wriggling the toes, making sure you've got open feet. As you inhale, this time we're going to come forward and up into chair pose, Utkatasana. So as you sink down a little bit into that chair pose, make sure that you can lift up all 10 toes. We're sitting all the way back into those heels, drawing the shoulders down, lifting the chest, shooting the tailbone towards the back edge of your mat. Big breath in. Big sigh out. As you inhale, come all the way up, pushing through the heels of the feet, lifting the chest, lifting the hips, opening through low spine. And as you exhale, hinging from the hips again, tracing the front of the body with your prayer. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, bend the knees and fold. Plant hands. Take the left foot back. Again, we're going to settle into our runner's lunge. So no tension in those right toes. Drop the hips, open the collarbones, bring the shoulders back, nice and broad across the upper body. Again, staying onto fingertips, so we've got a nice high chest. And then from here, as you inhale, lift your right arm. Shoulders come back, squeezing thighs into the center. Exhale, right fingertips come down. Inhale up, left arm. Again, just a breath. Exhale, left fingertips down. One more time, both sides. Inhale, right arm. Shoulders back into their sockets. Exhale, fingertips. Inhale up, left arm. Exhale, plant the whole of the hands down this time. Inhale, right foot back into plank. Your choice, if you want to, you can have a vinyasa now. Exhale, lie the knees, chin, chest, or chaturanga. Inhale into up dog cobra. If not, just downward dog is all fine. Exhale, down dog. Again, a gentle sway. Allowing your breath to be longer, to be deeper, nourishing through the whole of your back body. Inhale up high onto toes. Exhale, down through the heels. Big breath in. Big sigh out. And then drop the knees. Untuck the toes. Just coming back into a child's pose for a moment to regain your breath. So allow the arms to be soft beside your body. Let the shoulders be open and the elbows fall down towards the floor. Again, you can always support your head, but make sure your forehead is resting onto something. And as we breathe here, take the breaths into the back of your rib cage. So a nice, steady, slow, even flow of breath. And then from here, very slowly, coming up onto all fours. So making sure that your shoulders are over your wrists, your knees are roughly underneath your hips, and you're nice and comfortable on all fours. I'm going to take your right foot back. Start to circle out through that right ankle, stretching along the baseline of that right leg, shoulders pulling back into their sockets, and then from here tuck the right toes and push that set of toes onto the floor. So you're stretching into the back of the calf muscle, but the shoulders are still over the wrist. Sometimes I take the hands forward, but keep them over the wrist today. So pushing into the back of that right kneecap, nice big breath in. As you exhale, you're going to lift that left knee nice and high in towards the chest, tuck the head, and lift the space in between the shoulder blades at the back. Big breath in. As you exhale, push that right set of toes backwards and come into a one-legged plank. As you exhale, you're going to love me for this, elbows nice and tight, come halfway down. Inhale, push up into plank. Exhale, left knee over towards left elbow, and then plant that left foot down. Toes are pointing out towards the side, somewhere in between 45 degrees and 90 degrees out to that side. We're then going to come onto the little toe side of your right foot, and we're going to start to sweep that left arm up and over the head. As you do that, your right hips are going to fall, and you're going to reach all the way back towards that left foot. So the left shoulder is open, left palm is open towards the ceiling. Big breath in. Big sigh out. Next inhale, those hips are going to re-lift. Push down through that left foot. Left arm is going to come over the head. Your right shoulder here wants to come in towards your ear if you can. Push down through the heel of that right hand and lift it into its socket. Big breath in. As you exhale, turn towards your right fingertips and bring the left hand down. Drop your right knee. Make sure the toes are pointing all the way to the back of the mat now. And then we're going to come down or onto the elbows if you can. If not, just let the body hang a little bit here. So we're stretching out through that left leg. And just let the body curl over. Breath is nice and long. Again, don't worry if you can't quite come down onto the elbows, just let the elbows come into the centre and let the head hang. Nice and long with those breaths. The left kneecap is turning out to the side. And then from here, as you inhale, you're going to lift the body up and come into that alternative stretch of dropping the hips. So if that means you need to come up onto fingertips, that's all fine, or you can stay onto palms. But the hips are going to move forward, and you're going to still push down through the whole of that left foot, lifting chest, and then dropping both shoulders. Again, everything is still pointing forward apart from that left kneecap, which is pointing out to the left. Big breath in and out. And then from here, we're going to lift those hips again. Tuck your right toes underneath. Push through the heels of the hands, and you're going to come into a three-legged dog with pointed left toes. So make sure you've got a firm grip through that right ball of the foot. Lift that left leg high into three-legged dog, pointed toes. So lifting left hip above the right hip. We're starting to really open that left hip now. If you want to, you can come down onto that right elbow. You don't have to. Again, it's your practice. Make sure it's right for you this evening. Push the right heel a little closer to the floor. And then inhale up through that right elbow if it's not already. Exhale, hug the left knee nice and high. And then heel toe the foot in between the hands. Drop the right kneecap, untuck the right toes. From here, we're going to cartwheel your right arm up and open. Bring it back towards your right back of the kneecap and lift the left arm, like we're in reverse warrior, but we're on the knee. So nice and open through the left side, right shoulder is falling, but you're still lifting the belly in and up to support yourself into that stretch. I'm sure some of you are loving these hip stretches. Big breath in, big sigh out. And then inhale, you're going to come all the way up and over into half Hanuman. So fingertips are going to come alongside that left leg, one either side, and left toes are going to lift. Make sure that the back of that left leg is long and the toes are coming up towards the face. If you can't quite reach the floor, just bring one hand onto the thigh and one hand onto the hip. But what we're aiming to do is bring the chest forward and the tailbone backwards. This time it's a different stretch to the last forward bend we've done. Nice and high through the chest. Again, moving back through the shoulders, easing your way into stretching the back of that hamstring. Big breath in and out. One more nice long breath, and then flatten out that left foot. Plant the hands down, tuck the right toes. We're going to sweep that left foot back into a one-legged plank. I'm sure you're enjoying all these one-legged planks. Left foot comes back into one-legged plank. And then from here, interesting peacock variation. You're going to squeeze your elbows and bring your chin and chest down in between the palms. If you need to, drop the right knee before you do that. Don't just drop the body down. And then we're going to drop the right knee, bring that right foot to support your left thigh. So point those left toes now. Hips are off the floor, chin and chest are on the floor. Opening the throat. Big breath in, big sigh out. One more big breath in, and then uncross the legs and bring the whole of the body down onto the floor. As you inhale, come up into a cobra, maybe a little higher than our low cobra, but still keep the elbows bent and tighten towards the side. Big breath in, exhale, lower down. Tucking toes, send the hips towards the heels. Nice big breath in and out. So stretching through those shoulders, nice and long through upper body. And on your next inhale, just coming up back onto all fours. And you probably need to reset, so bring the knees a little bit closer. Maybe give the hips a little sway from left to right. Make sure hands are underneath your shoulders. And then we're going to take that left foot back, so extending out through that left leg. Give yourself a gentle circle, so nice and open through the back of the ankle, coming back the other way. And then tucking the toes down, bringing them onto the floor, onto the ball of the foot. So you're going to take a nice calf stretch here, but making sure that we're staying with the upper body over the wrists. And then pushing down through the heels of the hands, nice big breath in. As you exhale, lift that right knee nice and high, head comes into that knee. Next inhale, right foot comes back into that one-legged plank. As you exhale, squeeze your elbows, come down halfway. Inhale, back up. Exhale, right knee out to the side, and then plant the foot down. Then we're going to roll over onto the little toe side of the left foot, coming into side plank variation. Inhale, up and open with that right arm, reaching the fingertips back towards that left foot, rolling the right shoulder away from you to extend open through the chest. Nice big breath in, big sigh out. And then as you inhale, push down through your right foot, lift the hips and reach the arm over the head. So this time we're going to again pull that left shoulder back into its socket, nice and high through the hips. Big breath in. Exhale, reach that right hand forward and down, come onto that left knee. Untuck the toes. Just make sure they're facing towards the back of the mat. And then from here, we're just going to let the upper body fall. Again, elbows stay tight into the centre. Maybe they come all the way down to the floor, maybe they don't. Just hang out halfway if not, but just let the head hang. Allow that right kneecap to fall out to the side, just to stretch out that right leg. Again, I'm sure if you're not entirely set up for home office work, your hips are probably thanking me for this nice relaxing stretch right now. And then on your next inhale, we're going to come into that forward stretch. So maybe you need to come up onto fingertips to allow the hips to come forward, or maybe staying on full palm is still fine. But either way, just make sure both shoulders are pointing forward, hips are pointing forward too. It's just that right knee that's turning out. As you inhale, lift your chest, shoulders down. Exhale, just pushing forward through those hips. Get nice long breaths in and out here. Moving into that low back, into the hip. And then we're going to shift back halfway, tucking left toes, and make sure you've got full grip through hands and through that left foot. As you inhale, up and back into three-legged dog. Right foot comes up, pointing toes, lifting that hip nice and high as you bring the left heel closer to the floor. Stacking right hip above the left as much as you can. And then as you exhale, maybe you want to come down onto the left elbow. Again, just make sure it's your own practice. If you're not feeling comfortable in that left elbow, no worries. Nice big long breaths. And then next inhale, lift up off that elbow if you haven't already. Exhale, hug the right knee nice and high into the centre before we heel toe the foot in between the hands. As always, move it forward if you need to. Dropping left knee, untucking left toes. So no tension in those right toes as we come back into our reverse warrior on the knees. So left arm cartwheels all the way up and back. Hand reaches in towards the left knee crease. Right arm lifts. As you exhale, maybe we push forward through the hips, but again, that left shoulder is moving its way back into its socket, so you've got a nice long stretch in the chest too. And no tension in those right toes. And as you inhale, I'm going to cartwheel the arms back, hips come up into our half Hanuman. So fingertips down if they'll reach. Right hand onto thigh, left hand onto hip if not. Either way, right toes come up and that right leg is nice and straight. So move the right heel forward if you need to straighten out any kinks. Inhale up through chest. Exhale, pushing that chest forward and the hips come back. Again, let's see if you can pull that right hip back as much as you can to get that full stretch of the right hamstring. So one more nice big breath in and out here. And then right foot flattens down. Frame that front foot with your hands. Again, make sure that they are planted in, because as we tuck those left toes, again, we're going to make our way back into our one-legged plank. So lifting left knee, sweep the right foot back. And then we're going to come down into our peacock, squeeze elbows, chin and chest comes down. If you feel like you're going to fall, just drop the left knee before. Left knee comes down and then that foot comes up to support your right thigh. Again, really big breath in and out here. And then as you exhale, untangle the legs, let the whole of the body fall. And as you inhale, coming up into our kind of medium cobra, elbows still bent, but squeezed into the sides, opening the chest. Big breath in. And then exhale, release. Tucking toes. As you shift the weight back into our quarter dog, extending out through the body. Nice big breath in and out. And then on an inhale, come up halfway. As you exhale, downward dog. Again, that sway through the hips. Maybe a gentle rock of the head from left to right. And then come into stillness for a moment. Nice deep extension of breath up through the back body, down through the legs. And then bending through the knees, gazing between the hands. Again, we're going to jump or step in between the hands, allow the head to fall. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, bend and fold. You can just hang out here for a moment, allowing the upper body to soften, those arms to relax, to release. Head is heavy, neck is long. And it's your choice tonight, either reverse swan dive. If you're feeling a little bit lightheaded, please just roll up, heavy head. So inhale to come up. And then exhale, hands into prayer. Doesn't matter which way you came up. Rolling shoulders up, back and down. Shifting the weight onto your left foot. As you inhale, lifting up through right knee. So just a gentle circle around the ankle to find your drishti, your concentration point, which is somewhere in front of you that isn't moving. And then from here, we're going to soften that left leg and lift the right knee nice and high over the left. So it looks like this from the front. We're going to come into eagle pose. So both hips are pointing towards the front. Toes are perhaps on the floor, or perhaps you're a little bit more advanced and you want to double wrap and bring those toes behind the calf muscle. Wherever we are, making sure that the torso is still facing towards the front and your right hip hasn't come round to the left. So nice big breath in and out. And then from here, as you exhale, sink your hips a little deeper. I'm just going to stay with hands in prayer today, or maybe even you want to bring the hands onto the waist. Again, allowing those spaces around the groin to get a little bit tighter, a little bit more compressed as you sink deeper into that space. So one more big breath in. Again, as you exhale, go a little deeper, and as you inhale, unravel the legs and come back into warrior three. So right heel kicks back, chest leans forward, shoulders soft. A little push through the heels of the hands to make sure the back is nice and open. And as you exhale, bend through the left knee and take the right foot all the way back for warrior two pose. So making sure that you're nice and open through the hips. Going to bring the chest to face towards the right and then open the arms up. As you exhale, settle down into the center, into those hips. Big breath in. Big soft sigh. On the inhale breath, you're going to pull that left thigh all the way back and lift up through the arms. Turn to face the right. Again, as you exhale, settle down into warrior two, shoulders and then the hands. Two more of those. Inhale, squeeze the left thigh up. Exhale, shoulders and then arms. Last one, inhale to lift. As you exhale this time, keep your left leg straight and lean forward with that left arm, coming slowly down into Trikonasana. So maybe you're feeling a little bit tired or a little bit tight tonight, in which case right hand onto right hip to really open that right shoulder up. And again, if your neck is a little bit tired or a little bit tight, just look down towards the left toes. So nice big breaths into that right hand side. Deepening the inhale, softening the exhale. And then on the inhale, use those right obliques to lift that right hand all the way up and back into reverse warrior, straight legs. Right hand down, left arm lifts. Really long stretch right from that left big toe to the left middle finger. And then as you exhale, bend into that left knee. So from here, nice and soft into that left thigh. Take the right hand behind the waist, behind the back I should say, and bring it onto the inside of that left thigh. If you can't reach, no worries, just slide it behind the back. And then from here, you're going to take the left arm and bring it over towards your right hip. So in front of your body, over towards your right hip. We're going to re-straighten that left thigh, so lifting in and up through the underside of the left thigh, keeping torso facing towards the right. You're going to lean down into that stretch, so lean the left shoulder forward. Maybe you can even look towards the back of the room. So nice and long through that Trikonasana, bound Trikonasana. One more big breath in. Again, a really big sigh out. And then unravel those arms, lifting back up into that extended position, sideways position. And then you're going to turn those left toes to face towards the right. So hopefully you've got some space on the right hand side of your mat. If you haven't, perhaps consider turning yourself to the other side. But we're going to pigeon toe the feet, so toes in, heels out, and then you're going to take the arms behind the back. Coming into our Prasarita stretch. So clasping the hands together, rolling shoulders up, back and down, lifting your chest. And then as you exhale, extend the body forward. So really reaching, making a meal out of that stretch, really reaching open through the chest, nice and long, lengthening out through your back. And then the last moment, the head falls, and maybe those clasped arms lift away from your body and come over your head. Again, I'm sure if you've been sitting at a not so familiar desk, this feels quite good for your shoulders. Take a gentle look from left to right with the head to release the neck. And then just let the arms fall on an exhale. So place the hands or arms wherever it feels comfortable for you to relax. So maybe that means grabbing hold of alternative elbows, maybe that means bringing elbows down, or maybe it means bringing hands through the legs. Either way, the whole of the back body is softening and falling away through the floor. And just a couple more breaths here to really extend through the body. And then plant the hands underneath your shoulders. So lift up halfway, push through the heels of the hands. If the heels and the hands don't reach onto the floor, fingertips, but if you can, make some contact with the hands on the floor. So maybe take the legs a little wider to bring you a little bit deeper into it, and maybe bending the knees. So as you inhale, lift your chest. As you exhale, gently release. Two more of those. Inhale, lift your chest, opening up. And then as you exhale, gently soften. Last one, inhale, lift your chest. And then as you exhale, gently soften. So we're going to turn towards the front of your mat again. So hopefully that's over your left toes. If not, make sure it is. Turning on the ball of that right foot, planting the hands in. Your choice here, again, you can meet us in downward dog or child's pose, or you can sweep the left foot back for a one-legged chaturanga. Exhale. Inhale into up dog cobra. Exhale, downward facing. So again, perhaps a gentle sway of the feet. Nice and long and open through the back of the legs. Big breath in. Big sigh out. Drop the chest. So this is where I change direction, because so that you can all see what I'm doing on the other side. So again, perhaps if you've only got space on one side of the mat, you might need to change direction too. So nice big breath in, big sigh out. And then bend the knees, gazing between the hands. Either jump or step in between the hands. Allow the head to fall. Inhale up halfway. Exhale to release. Again, either rolling or reverse swan dive. Inhale, come up. And then exhale, hands into heart. Again, we're going to reset the shoulders, roll them up, back and down. So shifting the weight onto your right foot this time. I'm going to lift up through the left knee again. Just take a moment, rotating out through that left leg. Just to find a comfortable space on that right foot, feeling grounded, feeling rooted up into that hip. And then you're going to bend through that right knee. Take the left thigh nice and high over the right leg. So make sure that the bottom leg is bent. So again, maybe the toes are onto the floor, but the bottom leg is definitely bent. And we're sinking back. It's like a chair pose, but just with those legs bound. So nice big breath in, lift the chest. And as you exhale, the bottom is reaching towards the back edge of your mat. So the chest is slightly leaning forward. Nice big bend to that supporting leg, shoulders soft. Again, those really expansive breaths here. Feeling that compression around those thighs, around the groin, around the hips. And then a super slow unravel. So as you inhale, stretch up through that right leg, lifting left leg, and take the left heel back, warrior three. Left heel comes back, shoulders into their sockets, slightly push into the heels and the hands to open up through your back body. Big breath in. Big sigh out. One more big breath in, and then bend through the right leg as you bring the left foot down, warrior two, turning towards your left side of the mat, and then opening up those arms. Exhale, soften shoulders, and then inhale. We're going to lift the arms, pull the right thigh back, extend, look towards the left, and then exhale, shoulders, and then arms into warrior two. Inhale, pull right thigh, lead the movement with that right thigh, right hip. And then exhale to soften shoulders and arms. Inhale, last time. This time right leg stays straight. Exhale, arms come out, reaching forward, lengthening through that side into your Trikonasana. Again, maybe that left arm stays up, maybe it comes down onto the waist, being kind to your body. Again, most importantly, those shoulders are pushed back into their sockets and the shoulders are on top of one another. Again, maybe your Trikonasana looks more like this, that's okay. Find whatever position is right for your body this evening. And then on that next inhale, use those left obliques to lift all the way back, nice and slow and steady into our reverse warrior straight legs. Left hand down, right arm lifts. No tension in those right toes. As you exhale, soften your right knee. So nice and long through that right side, so bending into that right knee, opening up that right hip. And then from here, we're going to sweep that left hand behind the back. So trying to find the inside of the right thigh, but don't worry if you don't quite reach, just sliding it behind the back. And then right arm comes over the front of the body and finds the left hip. From here, you're going to pull that right thigh up and back. And then as you exhale, let the right shoulder come down towards the front of the mat. Look towards your left. Again, if it's tough on the neck, just look down, make sure the left shoulder though is moving its way backwards. Nice big breath in and out here. And then inhale, unravel the arms, lifting all the way up. Then we're going to turn those right toes to face towards the side. So maybe you're the left side again, or maybe you're the right side, depending on which way you've got space, but make sure you have got some space. Nice and open through the chest, pigeon toe the feet, toes in, heels out. And then as you exhale, gently reach the arms forward this time. So maybe if you've got lower back problems, you want to place your hands on the hips for a little bit more support, but just gently lowering the body down, reaching and extending. I'm going to place the hands down onto the floor. Again, perhaps you need to widen the stance to make that happen, or perhaps you need to bend the knees a little bit to make that happen. But the hands are slightly further forward than the shoulders, but they're shoulder width apart. Nice and open through the palms. Big breath in. Big sigh out. Hopefully you haven't got your head in a sofa or somewhere else, and you've got a little bit of space to come forward. So we're going to come all the way forward, bring the weight over your wrists, and then you're going to lift up onto the big toes. Push down through the heels of the hands, lift your shoulder girdle, and then exhale. Take the heels of the feet all the way down and sweep the bottom even further back than the heels of the feet, so you get a nice big shoulder stretch in there. Then we're going to do some more with the breath. So as you inhale, come forward, push through the heels of the hands, lift up onto the big toes, and then exhale, roll down through the heels and push the weight back. 2 more. Inhale all the way up, push down through the heels of the hands, lifting up onto the big toes. And then exhale all the way back. Last one, nice big breath in. Lifting up. And then exhale all the way back. So coming back into neutral, left hand is going to place itself underneath in the centre, but in the line of your shoulders, but in the centre of your body. So it's directly underneath your shoulder line, but in the centre of your chest. Again, maybe it's fingertips, but don't worry if you need a block or fingertips. From here, you're going to lift that right arm all the way up. So we're creating a straight line between your right middle finger and your left hand. So again, maybe you need to come up onto fingertips to make that happen. But we're nice and open through the right side of the chest. Big breath in. Big sigh out. One more big breath in. And then exhale, we're going to change sides. So you get a nice big stretch on the inside of the left thigh too. So right hand into the centre. And as you inhale, push down through that right hand to open all the way up into the left middle finger. Again, don't relax into those shoulders. Pull them back, open the chest, create space. Allow that space to be filled with all that nice, fresh, new breath. And then as you exhale, just let the body hang again. Maybe for you that means elbows down. Or maybe it means grabbing alternative elbows. Let's take a moment to breathe here. Let all of the great weight of gravity pull your body down towards the floor. And then very slowly, we're going to turn towards the right hand side. So again, we want the right foot facing forward, bending into that right knee, frame the foot, come onto the ball of that left foot. Maybe we're coming into down dog or child's pose, or maybe we're doing a one-legged chaturanga vinyasa. Whatever you do, make it right for your body and use your breath. Big breath in, big sigh out. We're going to bend the knees, and this time we're going to jump outside our hands, but just the edge of the mat, don't go off the mat. So take a nice big jump into a froggy squat and bring yourself down towards the floor. So just give yourself a little wiggle on your heels. If you can reach your heels to the floor, no worries. If not, just going to stay here for a sec. So open up the inner thighs, place your hands into prayer. I'll come and face this way. So hands into prayer, opening up through the chest. Upper arms on the inside of the thighs, lifting through the chest. Again, perhaps you want to place a rolled up towel underneath your feet if you can't reach the floor. If not, just take a moment to breathe into that space. Again, nice big extended breaths here. And Malasana squat. So one more big breath in, big sigh out. And then if you fancy, you can have a little go at crow pose. If you don't fancy, no worries, just come down onto your bottom and relax for a moment. But we're going to place the hands so that the middle finger points towards the top edge of your mat and your hands are shoulder width apart. Inner elbows turn to face the front and you're going to lift the bottom. So keep those elbows nice and tucked. We're going to bring the knees onto the upper parts of the outside of the arms. And then then from here, look forward, no longer look down, and no jumping because you will end up toppling over onto your head. So please be careful, maybe do it with a towel underneath your head. Shift the weight forward, just enough to bring one leg up, and then come back. Shift the weight forward, just enough to bring the other leg up, and then come back. Again, if you want to have a go at full crow, all is fine, but be careful with your body and make sure that when you're lifting your body up, you're just moving the weight slightly further forward, so enough to make you counterbalance and float up. There's no need to bounce. So have another little go if you want to. And then gently release your way back down onto the floor. Let your legs come out to straight. Give your hands a little shake. Give your wrists a little roll. And then take your hands into clasp. Push your palms away from you to lengthen out through the underside of your hands and your wrists. Big breath in, push those arms all the way up. And then as you exhale, take the arms out wide. Bring your hands into clasp. One more shoulder release, just because we've done our nice crow pose. If you can, bring the thumbs onto the floor and open the chest. Again, really big, expansive breaths across the chest. Oh, getting quite warm in here now. Big breath in, big sigh out. And then gently release. So bring your fingertips out to the side of the mat, but behind you. And bring your left leg knee bent, so plow the foot onto the floor, enough so that you can just about get your right ankle onto that knee. So keep the bend quite tight rather than a long bend. And then flex your right foot. From here, as you inhale, push through the heels of the hands and lift your chest. You don't get much of a stretch, well, you might get much of a stretch, but you don't get too much of a stretch unless we do that upper body lift. So really push through the heels of the hands, lift the chest. Maybe a gentle wriggle from left to right with that right leg. Again, if you're not feeling enough of a stretch, bring that left knee a little bit closer and bring the right knee a little bit further away from you. So nice big breaths in and out here. And then gently release. So round the back body a little bit. Bring your right hand all the way onto the floor. Bring your left hand over onto that right knee. And as you inhale, push through that left hand and look up over your right leg. So a gentle twist, opening up the hip, but also lower back. Try and keep the right shoulder down into its socket. Big breath in. Big sigh out. Come back. And then change sides. So right foot comes down. Again, not too far away from the body. Left ankle comes up onto right knee. Flex that right foot. Come up onto fingertips. And as you inhale, start to lift your chest. Again, opening up the heart. Shoulders back. Really big, nourishing breaths into the whole of your body. Again, maybe a little sway from left to right, maybe not. So one more big breath in, again, nice and tall. Big sigh out. And then plant the left hand down onto the floor, right hand onto the inside of that left knee. And as you inhale, push through the right hand and gaze up over your left shoulder. And pull that left shoulder back into its socket if you can. Be mindful of that upper body. So one more big breath in. Big sigh out, come back. And then take that left foot down. So here we are. We might as well do boat pose before we come down onto the floor. It'd be rude not to, seeing as how we're here. So reach your arms forward. Lift your chest, roll your shoulders down and start to open your palms towards the ceiling. Come onto your tiptoes and walk those toes back enough so that they float off the floor. Nice big inhale to lift your chest, draw your knees in. As you exhale, let your legs float parallel, let your body float back. Again, as you breathe, the chest is lifting, the shoulders are softening, maybe a drop of the head from left to right. Breathing into the belly, opening up. Again, those really big and nourishing breaths here. One more big breath in. And then as you exhale, draw the knees in. Allow the shoulders to open, but also to fall. So don't let them lift in towards the ears. Let your feet reach the floor, reach the arms forward as you roll your way down. Maybe even grab the thighs to come down nice and slow. Let your arms go over your head. Big breath in. As you exhale, just take the knees over to the right, look to the left. Oh, big sigh here, relax. And then knees come up. Again, knees over to the left, look towards the right. Just breathing into that low spine. And then inhale, knees come up. Your choice of Shavasana, as always. You can either come into straight laying down onto the floor, or you can leave your knees up, feet onto the floor, whichever is comfortable for you this evening. If you're feeling a little bit niggly in your low back, then perhaps the feet planted onto the floor is the better option for you. Just letting yourself soften and relax here. Those legs growing heavy. A sense of softness to your body. Allowing the hips to open and release. And ease through your back. Shoulders falling heavy into the earth. Arms relaxing, releasing. Palms soft. Fingertips light. No tension through the back of the neck. Muscles in the face, relax, release. Eyelids heavy, cheeks soft, jaw relaxed. Coming to rest your awareness on the center of the eyebrows. Letting everything else fall away into the earth. starting to deepen the breath. Licking the lips, maybe swallowing, gently rocking the head from left to right. Sweeping the arms over the head, giving yourself that full body stretch as you breathe in. Big sigh out. Still, if you can, with eyes closed, making your way over to the right hand side. Again, just take a moment to steady the body, steady the breath. And then when you're ready, again, still with eyes closed, coming back into our comfortable cross-legged seat. Palms face up in the lap. Starting to take those deeper breaths back into the belly. And as we do so, as always, we take this time to reflect on our practice today. To notice the body, to be more aware of the physical self, of the openness that we create through our practice. Taking this openness, this sense of light, away with us off the mat this evening. And returning, as always, to this sense of calm, of peace, whenever we can, off the mat. Bringing the hands together, rubbing them to warmness. And then placing those hands as cups over the eyes, a gentle massage through the sockets as we flutter eyelids open and bring the hands down into prayer. Namaste. Thank you as always for joining me on the mat this evening. I hope you enjoyed the practice. A little bit of a dynamic flow. So again, I hope you enjoyed our Wednesday evening session. Our Monday evening session is a bit more grounding, so hopefully you are enjoying the mixture of the two. But as always, please do give me feedback, and a comment or a like on the video below would be fantastic. And hopefully I will see you again very soon. Thank you and namaste.